So here we are at the Nieuwe Prinsengracht in Amsterdam. Just returned here. Tenants have just moved out. They've been here for 3 years, and it's good to see that some of my choices in the decorating worked well. They've looked after the place really well. It's a single let. Just show you the view. Unusually for Amsterdam, this flat isn't overlooked because we've got trees across the canal. So going back inside the flat, that's the basic room layout, all very neutral. The Dutch do quite like white walls, so while I quite like a bit of colour, I've kept this one white. So some of the things in here, everything's IKEA because that's the main sort of designer discounted type of furniture supplier here. These little stands I particularly like. I think they look quite funky, but it also acts as quite a good visual room divider between the sort of living area and the kitchen dining area. You do need to have a solid wall to put them on because they're pretty heavy themselves, and of course as soon as you start putting anything on them they get heavier, so good solid wall. The other thing in here is this engineered wood. This is wood that has a sort of cheap chipboard type base and then about 2 or 3 millimeters veneer of real wood, and I have to say I'm quite impressed. I mean, it's a lot cheaper than solid board, but this has lasted as well. It's no dents, chips, scratches, stains, nothing. Seems all in really good nick. What else in here? I'll show you these vents up there. Those vents up there, I'll come back to those later, but notice those. The other thing I like, which turned out to be a good buy, should have cleaned this before, are these ceramic sinks. A little bit more than stainless steel, but I always find that the stainless steel ones chip and scratch and discolour really pretty quickly, especially the cheaper end ones. And this ceramic sink, after 3 years, not a mark on it, looks brand new. The other thing I did here was varnishing. Instead of tiling, and you can see where it stops around here, if you've got a flat wall, you can just varnish it and seal it. A lot cheaper, quite a lot quicker. You do need to have a very flat wall, but if you're going to be replastering your kitchen anyway, it's worth thinking about. Make sure you use I think it's a polyurethane type varnish that's not going to discolour, because some do go very yellow. And going back down here, those vents that I showed you, they're all connected to this humongous bit of kit, which brings fresh air into the building and takes the old air out, because when this building was redeveloped some years ago, it was effectively hermetically sealed, so there's no fresh air unless you've got the windows open. So this also takes, from the old air, it takes any heat out of the air and converts it to energy. So the tenants here were paying about, I think, about 25 euros a month, about 18 quid a month for their energy bills, which is incredible, and it's, you know, a lot of it is down to this. The other thing I like is, because this is also the sort of laundry room, it's combined washer dryer, which a lot of people I know don't like, but I find they last really well. It's made by Leafheit. I've not been able to find this in England, so I bought a few of them while I'm over here. It just pulls out, so as you see, so you can dry a few clothes on there, and then it just pushes back in, closes up, et voila. Going into this room, this is this sort of spare room, guest room, but it's also an office, and you can use it as office most of the time. I provide one of these blow-up beds that you just plug in, they blow up in seconds, guest goes, you unplug, and it deflates in seconds. So you're not giving up valuable space for the occasional guest. You've actually got a working room. On the end of this sort of funky IKEA shelving unit for the guests, I put this handle, which means you've got a mini hanging rail to put a few coat hangers on for the few days that they're staying. So that's that room. Then we go through to the main bedroom. Again, I've got another one of these racks, which I particularly like, but again, you've got to have a good strong wall and blackout curtains. This room is particularly sunny, but even if it weren't, I just find the first couple of flats I rented, the first thing that tenants wanted was blackout curtains immediately, so I had to go back and change them. So now I just do them blackout blind or curtains as standard. It saves a lot of aggravation. Wardrobes. I've got tall wardrobes. The other thing I do with that is, for safety, is I make sure that they're screwed to the wall inside. Any IKEA furniture certainly has a hole drilled in the back of their cupboard so that you can easily attach to the wall. I'm always fearful of somebody stepping on a lower shelf and then trying to reach something on the top shelf and the whole thing coming over on them. So we do have bathroom here. There's nothing special in there. Standard bathroom, separate bath, shower, sink, and other than that, that is the Nieuwe Prinsengracht, all in good order.